Let me walk you through creating a new document in Affinity Photo. Although most of your typical image editing workflows will be achieved by opening an existing image or document, there are occasions when you will want to start with a blank document. When you launch Affinity Photo, you'll be greeted with this dialog, which contains several sections. I'll click on New to access the New Document section. On the left are the various document presets. You can scroll through the list, or use the drop-down above to quickly jump to a category. As an example, I may want to create some 4K resolution graphics. I'll switch to the web category, then choose the QFHD preset. I've picked this because it lists the resolution as 3840 by 2160 here, which is 4K with a 16:9 aspect ratio. The presets just change the settings available on the right here, so you can of course fully customize all of these. On the Layout tab, for example, you can change the width and height. Currently the measurement unit is in pixels, but you can also work in physical dimensions, which I'll explore shortly. The image placement option is very useful. It lets you determine whether placed images and documents are embedded into the saved document file or linked externally, which cuts down on file size and gives you the flexibility of being able to update these files dynamically. Across on the Color tab, you can change the color format, bit depth, and profile. For any digital work, you'll typically want to use RGB, but you can also work in grayscale for black and white documents, CMYK for print work, and Lab for more edge case workflows, which are typically photographic in nature. You'll see a list of color profiles. The Affinity apps are fully color managed, but nevertheless I would recommend simply using sRGB unless you specifically need to work in a different profile. For example, if you wanted to work in Pro Photo for access to a more intense range of colors, ROM RGB is the same and ships with the Affinity apps. You can also toggle a transparent or white-filled background. But don't worry about committing to this, as you can easily toggle it via the document menu. Finally, you can configure your document margins on the Margins tab. I've made a few changes to this preset by switching to external linked files, changing to 16-bit RGB, and using a ROM RGB color profile. I may want to save this as a custom preset so I can quickly access it in the future. For this, I can add both a new category and a new preset. I'll create a new category first and call it Custom. Then create a preset and call it 4K 16-bit wide color. I'll switch the category to Custom, leave the icon as it is, and click OK. My preset can now be found at the bottom, ready for use in the future. You can add presets as favorites by clicking on their respective heart icons. I'll add a few as an example, then click the Favorites toggle at the top. This will filter just the favorited presets so you can easily access them. Now I'll explore working with a preset that uses physical measurements. I'll choose the A3 preset and switch to the Layout tab. Now the main distinction between physical and non-physical measurements is how they interact with the DPI value. When using a physical measurement, such as millimeters, inches, etc., the DPI value is used in conjunction with the width and height values to determine the pixel resolution. 300 is the recommended value for sufficient resolution when printing documents, but you can decrease or increase this depending on your requirements or the requirements of whoever you are sending the completed work to. If I switch the document units over to pixels, then change the DPI value, however, notice the width and height values aren't changing. In the context of working with pixels, the DPI value is somewhat arbitrary. It serves not to determine the pixel resolution of the document, but rather to inform how an image or document may be scaled in some cases. For example, with retina imagery, you would typically have the 1x image at 72 dpi, which is typical screen resolution, then the 2x image at 144 dpi, which is double. With that in mind, I'll bring the DPI value back to 300 for this print document, and change the document units back to millimeters. Finally, if you want to quickly change the orientation of the document, that can be achieved using the two buttons up here next to the category drop-down. This instantly flips the width and height dimensions and affects all the presets, so you can easily move between them whilst maintaining either landscape or portrait orientation. Once you've chosen and configured a preset, you can then click Create to move forward and work with those document settings. And there we go. I hope you found this video useful. Thank you for watching.